I am Dr. J. Felicia Nanadibam, Assistant Professor working in Department of English, Armugam Pillai Seedemal College, Tirupattur. Hi students, I hope everyone are staying safe in your home during this Unlock 2.0 situation. So, in order to continue our education in this pandemic situation, I welcome you all for the online mode of education. And now I request all of you to listen to this e-course carefully. Before starting today's course, I would like to thank our Secretary Sir, Principal Sir and our HOD Sir for giving me this wonderful opportunity to meet you all. This e-course will explain about the life and works of William Shakespeare. I have divided this course into two parts. In the first part, I will be teaching about the life of William Shakespeare, and in the second part about his works. Now, let's move on to the session. Regarding the life, that is, the date of birth of William Shakespeare, his exact date of birth is unknown till now. So, it's assumed that his date of birth might be 23rd April 1564 because he was baptized on 26th April 1564. William Shakespeare was born on Stratford on Avon in England. He was an English playwright, poet, and an actor. He was regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's greatest dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon. Shakespeare was one of the 8 children born to John Shakespeare, a well-to-do glovemaker and leather worker, and his wife Mary Aden, an heiress from a wealthy family. Very little is known about William Shakespeare's early years. In fact, his actual date of birth remains a mystery to this day, but it's believed that he had a good upbringing, attended a good school, and enjoyed playing outdoors a lot. In 1582, William Shakespeare married a farmer's daughter called Anne Hathaway, 8 years senior to him, and they are blessed with 3 children, a daughter called Susanna and twins Judith and Hamnet. You see, in 1585, our writer William Shakespeare disappeared from the records for around 7 years, and historians often refer to this part of a writer's life as the last years. And suddenly, in 1592, he turned up in London as an actor and then became a famous playwright. But he didn't have it easily. Many critics made fun of his work in his early stage. Robert Greene, one of the university wits, referred to him as an upstart crow. But in the later years, Shakespeare became a greatest dramatist, as you all know. Shakespeare was part of a theatre company called Lord Chamberlain's Men, who regularly performed at a place called the theatre. But due to some disputes, with the landlord of that place. They took the building apart and rebuilt it across the river and named it Globe in 1599. Shakespeare referred to this Globe Theatre as the Wooden O. And you see, Shakespeare's plays were immediately become big hits. He wrote different kinds of plays, all of which could be divided into three categories: tragedy, comedy, and history. And his plays made him very rich and famous. He earned a lot of fortune that by 1598 and all, he owned houses in London and at Stratford upon Avon, England. Shakespeare's plays had the royal seal of approval. That is, both Queen Elizabeth I and James VI of Scotland and James I of England would often hire Shakespeare's company to come and perform his plays at the royal court. In Shakespeare's plays, there were no female actors. Women's parts were played by men. Plays at the Globe featured lot of special effects. Plays at the Globe featured lot of special effects like with the trapdoors, actors lifted on wires, smoke effects, fire, and even cannons. A disaster struck in 1613 when a cannon shot set fire to the roof of the Globe and burned it down. It wasn't long after that Shakespeare retired from the theatre. Towards the end of his life, William Shakespeare lived quietly back in his hometown of Stratford on Avon. He died on 23rd April 1616 at the age of 52 due to some illness. It is believed he may have died on his birthday. But you see, without an official birth record, we can't be sure. And now let us see an interesting fact of Shakespeare. This wordsmith has written a curse to be written on his gravestone in Holy Trinity Church, Stratford on Avon. The words are, "Good friend, for Jesus' sake forbear to dig the dust enclosed here. Blessed be the man that spares these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones." These are the cursor lines written on the tomb of Shakespeare. Today, Shakespeare's work are studied in schools and in universities around the world, and his stories are depicted on TV and in films. In 1997, the modern Globe Theatre was opened in London, a reconstruction of the original. People now can go to watch plays just like in Shakespeare's days. Before I complete this course, let me have a recap of what we have seen in this lecture. In this lecture, we have seen about his birth, occupation, marriage, and the theatre, then the newly built Globe Theatre, and then an interesting fact that is the cursed lines in his tomb and all. And with this, we also have to note that Shakespeare lived and wrote during the period which is known as the English Renaissance. English Renaissance, also known as the Elizabethan Age. Elizabethan Age is named after Queen Elizabeth, who ruled England from 1558 to 1603. And thank you for your patient listening. Stay home, stay safe. Let's meet in the next session, part 2 of the life of William Shakespeare.